So finally, after years of waiting, great teasers to epic trailers, Marvel's Defenders finally hit Netflix. And I have to say, the show is amazingly average. I mean, enjoyable, but not epic. Welcome to Big Screen, Little Screen Chats and Reviews, and today we're going to talk about the Defenders Netflix series.
There's a friend. There's a friend. There's an old enemy.
So starting right off, Defenders is a team-up miniseries of all the Marvel Netflix-owned properties. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and to be clear, Defenders wasn't bad. It was good. I just felt it could have been so much better. Starting straight into things, the first 4 episodes do a brilliant job, although in some places it drags. Does a brilliant job in bringing these 4 intervals together while simultaneously showing their reasons for all coming together in the first place. What was great that I liked, it showed what our heroes have been up to since the end of their respected shows. Luke's fresh out of prison and after banging Claire, as anyone would, he's ready to defend the kids of Harlem. Iron Fist and Carlene are tracking their hand. Jessica Jones is doing her best not to be a hero, still dealing with her PTSD in her own professional way, but ends up trying to find the man that's gone missing. And Matthew Murdock has gone full-time lawyer and has given up the guise of Daredevil, which I found to be the most interesting because Daredevil, which is who Matt really is, his powers make it virtually impossible for him to turn a blind eye to injustice. So to watch him struggle and see that internal conflict then fail out trying to be an ordinary guy, I have to say was just the most interesting arc of the 4 before they became a team. How they made these 4 different characters with 4 completely different paths collide together was probably my favorite part of this show. The characters are skeptical, not wanting to work together when the threat of the hand is made known, which I have mixed feelings for because on one hand, yeah, I get you don't know each other and suddenly the 4 of you need to stand by another so you can save New York from this evil organization. I get that you'd all feel, or some of you might feel, count me out, I'll just stick to my own and I'm going to protect who I want to protect. But then on the other hand, you've got characters like Luke and Jessica mainly who don't believe in the supernatural element Danny and Matt are describing to them and describing that the hand actually wields. But come on, the 4 of you in this room are exactly ordinary, are you? And this is the same world, and city to be exact, that was attacked by aliens 3 years ago. So be a bit more open-minded quicker so we can get more out of the show rather than wasting screen time with building up to the fact that you guys don't believe in the hand and the powers that the hand possesses. Speaking of the hand, the first 4 episodes do a good job in introducing Alexandra, the leader of the hand. The air of mystery surrounding her is so interesting. When she's talking about what she's seen throughout the years and the places she's seen and the people she's met, you clearly understand her motivations and her desperation. She's just a good villain. I really enjoy how unthreatened she is at the Defenders in the first 4 episodes, which is hilarious because she has concerns, which, to be honest, are pretty major concerns. But none of those concerns are the Defenders, especially Iron Fist, which is the most funny because Iron Fist is the only one she should be afraid of and she's just really not. Which brings me to a good point, more a rant than a point. Danny Rand Iron Fist. I like him a lot more in this series than I did in his actual series, but he is the weakest link in the Defenders. Like acting wise, his skills have improved since the Iron Fist series, but he hasn't nailed it. But he's annoying in the way he gets his ass handed to him all the time. And I literally mean all the time. Like in, I think, every fight in Defenders that he's involved with, he gets beat up, like, and he's Iron Fist, like, he's the Iron Fist. He's supposed to be like this martial arts master, like, he does some pretty cool stuff in the show, I'm not gonna lie, but he just gets his ass handed to him by everyone. But the interactions between Iron Fist and Luke Cage, more like their chemistry was very good. It kind of felt like the comic books come to life when those two worlds was on screen together. When they fought together and when they fought each other, it was really good. The show really centers around Iron Fist's story arc, which I feel was the show's overall weakness because Iron Fist's Netflix story wasn't particularly the best. He actually ends up giving the hand exactly what they want, and I'm like, why? You know that's what they want, so why? You're Iron Fist, be wise. Don't use the Iron Fist in the one place you know you shouldn't. He ultimately just ends up pissing me off. The least favorite Netflix series and the least favorite Defender. Now moving on, Jessica Jones. She's just a delightful arsehole. Like, I find her hilarious. She fully mirrors someone who stepped into a much larger world than she could ever imagine, and she's just like, what? Blind superpowered ninjas, magical fists, immortal crime lords. Everything concerning Jessica Jones in The Defenders is good. She starts off not wanting to be a part of anything or anyone. But then once she sees how turning her back on the rest of the team ultimately adds more depth to her conscience, she's fully on board. And that's what I liked about Jessica Jones' own independent series, because she does show fear. She is afraid. She doesn't want to get hurt, but she knows what the right thing is, and she knows what the right thing is to do. So despite her fears, she does it. And I just love that dynamic because it just shows it doesn't matter if you have abilities. People get scared. But she just takes a whiskey, downs, and is like, right, time to kick some ass and take some names. Luke Cage was alright. I mean, he has a couple of winning moments that I loved. Like, there's this one scene when him and Iron Fist invade the Hand's headquarters, and he just slaps the shit out of people. I can't say, wow, Mike Colton surprised me with his portrayal of Luke Cage in this series, past anything I was expecting. But I feel that the good parts of this show wouldn't have been as good as they were without his portrayal of Luke Cage. Because of his powers, and he's just throwing people left and right, yeah. It just looks so much more better. I feel like the action scenes wouldn't have been complete without Luke Cage. Mike Colton brings a sense of humanity to the character. He just wants to be a good guy. Like, out of all the Defenders, he's only taking part in defeating the Hand because he just wants to do right by people. There's no big, deeper meaning as to why he wants to help. No PTSD or superpowers that make it impossible for you not to hear people in danger, or people beating you from a young age to tell you that you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to defeat the Hand. He just wants to help. And I like that because he's the only person who technically doesn't need to help or put himself in harm's way because he can't get hurt. He's indestructible. Yet he does. And Mike Colton really does that well. He really just portrayed this character as a big, humble guy who just wants to do right. Which actually reminds me, I almost forgot to talk about this guy. I don't know how I almost forgot to talk about this guy. He was just the best. The final Defender I haven't mentioned, Matthew Murdock, Charlie Cox, Daredevil. What can I say about Charlie Cox's Daredevil? Nothing but... he was the best, man. He just kills it every single time, and even introduced this new layer of emotion to his character because of Elektra dying in Daredevil Season 2. I said this show expands upon the story arc of Iron Fist, but it also does a bit of Daredevil's as well with Stick and Elektra. Daredevil shines the best for me when he's challenging the ideologies of people. That's what I loved most about him in Season 1 with Wilson Fisk, and that's what I loved about him in Season 2 with The Punisher. And in Defenders, he's challenging the ideologies of Stick and Elektra, because Charlie Cox's Daredevil is this deep, brooding, issue for days character. He goes even deeper in that in Defenders, and it's still entertaining because it provokes you to see how it plays out, and that was a plus for me. What I mean by ideology is that people come to Daredevil and tell him, this is the way the world works, this is how things are. It's present in Season 1 of Daredevil, it's present in Season 2 of Daredevil, and again it's present here in Defenders. Stick is basically telling Matt that Elektra's not really Elektra, she's just an empty shell, she's just a mindless black sky now, so you need to kill her, you're gonna have to kill her. And Daredevil's like, no, I'm not gonna kill her. Elektra is, the world is shit, the world is this, the world is that, why should I care? There was never goodness in me, this is who I really am now. And Daredevil's like, no, there's goodness in you, I've seen it, I felt it. Like, it's just like, no matter what people say or how convincing the evidence is before him, he's just challenging it. Like a lawyer, he's just challenging it. He's like, no, I don't care how unbalanced the scales are. This is what I believe, and what I believe is the truth. Now should probably be the best time actually then to talk about Elektra. I feel Elektra started out really cool, Mostly when she was a mindless assassin with very few lines, it made her more menacing. But as the series went on, she just started to become annoying. Okay, you're evil. Okay, now you're not evil. Oh, you might be evil or not evil. Okay, you're certainly an asshole, which is fine. But you don't have time to develop her being this complicated character if she's evil or not evil with 8 episodes. And it started to get a bit annoying. Nobody's got time for your mood swings and the black sky, which is so vague in what it means. She's clearly got increased strength, speed, and durability, but the series never really tells you what being a black sky is. And I just found it annoying because it just kind of felt like whatever the plot demanded of her character to do, or what kind of power she needed to have in that episode, she would just have. There wasn't enough time to flesh her out. I feel like if the series was a few more episodes, like 13 episodes, would have had more time to develop Elektra as a character. Speaking of the episodes, actually, this series, like I said, started off really good. The first 1 to 4 episodes were the most interesting. But from episode 5 to 8, everything that came after was just rushed, anticlimactic. Really and truly, the Hand's key goal didn't necessarily mean the city ending event that was so hyped about from Alexandra. Alexandra herself meets her end in the most undeserving and poorly executed way. The new leader of the Hand is met with very little resistance, and that ending. What is even the point of offering them if you're just going to bring them back? Don't do a DC Marvel. I feel the first 4 eps were building up something fantastic, something Avenger worthy, rather than, oh, so that's the ending. I know I thought the whole season was going to be like this TV Avengers level of intensity Netflix series. So maybe I set myself up for being disappointed. But looking at it completely from an unbiased eye, it's not amazing as I had hoped for. It's fiercely average. I know I haven't really spoken about characters like Carlene or Misty, Stick, Foggy, Karen, or Hogarth, but they did their parts. They played their roles. They helped build up what they needed to build up. The other 4 fingers of the Hand, I found them to be all really good, bar one. It would have been nice for the defenders to not have him back. And you know what? It would be really interesting to see the 4 fingers of the Hand's individual backstories, because that should have been explored more, but it was 8 episodes, so we didn't really have time. Maybe season 2 of Iron Fist can dive a bit more deeply into the 4 fingers' rise to power, their individual backstories, so that would be a lot more interesting to see than Danny Rand's business executive meetings like in season 1 of Iron Fist, so that stuff was boring. But Defenders as a whole was good, could have been a lot better. Hopefully now the setup's done, season 2 of Defenders will be nothing short of immaculate. But I'm going to leave it there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But until next time, this is Big Screen, Little Screen.
Creepy little beast!